If you want to have a healthy relationship, it's very simple. You have to develop intimacy with your partner. That's the secret to lasting love. Bye. See you next week. It is as simple as that. The problem is that we face 4 main barriers when it comes to building intimacy, barriers that are very personal. And in this video, I want to share those barriers, those obstacles, so you can work on yourself. Very often people tell me, I need to work on myself because of my relationship, because of this breakup. This is your guideline. And in this video, I will share with you some questions and prompts that you can ask yourself if you want to overcome those barriers. Jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So if you're watching this video after a breakup, it's very important for you to understand those barriers post-breakup, because they will transform the way you manage this breakup. If you want to heal, whether you want to move on, whether you want to find someone else, whether you are not sure whether you want to get back with your ex, whether you want desperately to want to get back with your ex, it is important to first identify and overcome those barriers. So identify, we will do it today. Overcoming these barriers, you have to do the work. I can't do the work for you. I'm just guiding you, right? I'm just like helping you, opening the door. You have to do the work. But what you have to understand is that growth and happiness, whether it's personal, relationship happiness, is really on the other side of those barriers. Trust me, once you overcome those barriers, life is different, and life is easier when it comes to relationship. You know how to evolve, you know how to also set your expectation, your boundaries. We're going to discuss about that in a second. If you transform those barriers, it's kind of a stepping stone for the future steps. What are these 4 barriers? The first one is the fear of outshining. Second one is feeling fundamentally flawed. Third one is disloyalty and abandonment. And the fourth one is believing that success brings burdens. We all have maybe a preference, or we are prone to one of the 4. And I would love you to let me know in the comment section which one you'll be the one where you relate the most. For me, it's really about a second one, personally, but it really depends on people. And it's very important because sometimes we are not aware of those barriers. We think that it's because of our partner, because of our parents, and it's just a question of, okay, and that's also what I'm trying to do on posting those videos is, in a way, the solution doesn't have to be overly complex. It's very simple. It's just by asking yourself the right question and looking at things. It's not that saying that life is simple and relationship are simple, but sometimes we over-complexify things. If you realize that it's about abandonment, disloyalty, really focus on that. I'm a big believer in the Pareto's rule. Focus on the 20% of things that will provide 80% of the outcome, rather than figuring out and list all the things that you need, list all the attachments, do all the quizzes, etc. Focus on the most important aspect, work on that, and that will deliver result quickly and significant result. Because I think in the context of relationship or breakups, people want results quickly. Fair enough. We're all guilty of that. And the problem is that there's so many things to do that we don't do anything because it becomes overwhelming. So focus on this thing and let me know in the comment section the one you relate the most with, and also what you've learned as well. It will be very interesting to have a conversation on that on the comment section. So I'm looking forward to reading your comments. So the first one is the fear of outshining. Is when you hold success, when you are very successful or something positive happening in your life and you don't want to share it because you don't want to overshadow your partner. You don't want them to feel lower than you or not as good as you. So question and prompt about sort of a reflection for you. When was the last time you dimmed your light for others? And it happens also in the context of friendship, in the context of your family settings, maybe with your coworkers. So if you're prone to this fear of outshining, try to reflect the last time you sort of dimmed the light for others. In order to, the thing you need to work on is celebrate your achievement. There's this belief that I'm guilty of achieving something. Very often people with this fear of outshining, they look at, if I win, somebody has to lose. If I'm rich, I'm guilty because there are a lot of people who are poor out there. If I get this promotion, it means that all the other people who apply for the job didn't get that role. And I feel guilty about that. And I don't want to celebrate those things. And in the context of a relationship, that could also have a detrimental effect. Understand that being successful is not a barrier to love. It enhances your worth. And very often, when it happens, it's the element of feeling guilty or feeling that it's a competition. Your partner, if you're successful, shouldn't be jealous of you. He or she should sort of celebrate that success with you. For example, if you make more money, if you get a promotion and you make more money than your partner, maybe there's ego playing and your partner, especially if you're a female and your husband or your boyfriend is a bit jealous of you making more money. Well, he or he needs to transition to a phase of like, I'm proud of you. I'm dating you because I know your potential. I know you deserve this promotion and you deserve to be successful in your business. And that's a healthy relationship. So really get into the action, because that's the purpose of my videos and this video especially. Share a recent success with friend, family this week. So there's something that happened potentially this week. Share with someone. Don't be shy. Don't run away. Embrace those successes and celebrate those successes with people who care about you. Don't be scared people will be jealous. If they are your friends, if they love you, if they care about you, they should be happy for you. Second one is feeling fundamentally flawed. So it's the idea or the belief that we are not good enough, whether it's from past relationship, whether it's from our childhood. It's the idea that I need to earn love. I'm starting a relationship, a friendship or romantic relationship from a place of I need to prove myself, right? I need to earn my love. And when you start this, it's about how I can sacrifice myself, because that's potentially in your childhood, that's how you felt the relationship with your caregiver, with your parents. Maybe you had to negotiate, maybe you had to fight for their attention, to fight for their love, to do everything to make them proud, and they were really sort of not generous giving you those validations. So it's about how you can embrace your worth, learning about your worth. So it's something that I do sometimes with my clients who feel this way. It's about, okay, hold on. You are seeing yourself way in a negative way, and way more negative than anyone who sees you. So one element is about, okay, listing out your qualities, your traits, your talents, because you have, there's no one who has no quality, no talent. It's about also specifically after a breakup, we feel like, okay, I'm not good enough. I'm not, in the first place, your partner dated you, chose you, right? After a while, things didn't work, but initially, he or she decided to start a relationship with you. So he or she found things that they liked. So never assume that you're not good enough for love, because the proof is that no, you've had partners in the past, you've had relationships. Maybe, after this breakup, you're wondering whether you're still equipped or good enough for love, but in the first place, you were. So you're, in a way, the same person. So you have those things and try to look at yourself from a positive angle. So that will help you to heal with self-love, acceptance. So what I would suggest you to do is to write three qualities you love about yourself. I'm not really good at speaking, for example, but anyway, 3 qualities about yourself. Another thing that I use sometimes with my clients, and I've done that in one of my programs, is you send an email out to 5, 10 people that you know, friends, family, colleagues, and you ask them, you say, I'm changing career, I'm wondering, I want to change jobs. Can you let me know my qualities, my talent, the things that I'm good at, that is not necessarily common. And by doing that, you have got a 360 feedback, something that people do in corporate and big companies or in corporate world. By doing that, you have the way they see you, okay? And they have no incentive in lying to you, and especially if you have different people. If one person sort of, you feel like, oh yeah, he's kind of, he says that or she says that to please me. But if you have like 5 people saying the same things, Well, they're not lying. It's just how they see yourself. So do this exercise. Let me know in the comment section if you have any question on this exercise. I have a template email that I can post in the comment section. Just remind me in the comment section after I post this video. So this one is a bit of a tricky one. It's disloyalty and abandonment, which kind of contradict each other, but it's basically about boundaries. It's the difficulty to maintain healthy boundaries. Maybe you're scared of losing the connection. Maybe you're overwhelmed by the connection. So avoidant will tend to leave the relationship because it's too overwhelming. People who tend to be anxious will lose themselves in the relationship. So I want you to reflect about when you struggled with boundaries in your past relationship. And so it's about respecting yourself, respecting also your partner. A healthy relationship lies in the balance. With codependency is unhealthy. Being completely, avoiding a partner is unhealthy. It's about interdependence. So if, for example, you have an avoidant attachment style, a little bit like me, first of all, you need to know that's your limitation. And then it's about, okay, what can I do to be okay depending on someone, to be okay that I depend on her and she depends on me, and navigating this space. And if you're anxious, it's about learning to be more independent, learning to be okay with the distance, with the space. And it's about finding the right balance. If you're in a relationship where you feel my partner is too, he's too anxious, he's too avoidant, and we can't find any middle ground for us to evolve and work together, then it raises the question of whether that person is willing to do the work to meet you halfway, and whether he or she is simply the right partner for you. Because remember, and I've said that in one of my shorts, he or she can be the most amazing person on earth, intelligent, smart, amazing sex, and so on and so forth. If they're not willing to provide the right structure in place, to create the right form of intimacy, they are not partner material. So being an amazing person and being an amazing partner is different. Your soulmate, the right person you need to date, has to be both. So I don't have to convince that you need to have feelings for that person. You know already, you can answer this question. My job is to tell you feelings are not enough. It's about how you can function as a couple in a healthy way. And an action for you would be to identify one boundary you wish to strengthen or to establish. Things that, very often we are in situations where we say yes and we mean no. Okay, what are those situations? Find the most important one and tell it to your partner, to your ex. Tell it this week. Last one is believing success brings burdens. So that's very typical of avoidant, is when the relationship develops. When things get serious, this is when one will pull away. When the intimacy becomes, it's too much for me, I can't deal with that. So if that's the case for you, I would encourage you to recall a moment when you pulled back as the relationship deepened. It's very important because you have to, and in any case, whether you're anxious or avoidant, look at those key moments. Again, looking at the Pareto rule, you don't have to look at every single time you spend with your partner, every single date, every single conversation. Sometimes people send me the history of their text message, like for the last months. You don't have to do that. It's really about looking at the key moments when you felt triggered, when you feel that got triggered, and looking at what happened. And this is where you have to spend time analyzing those moments. Rather than analyzing the whole thing, find key moments, and usually one or two are enough. Find those moments, analyze those moments. And if you're an avoidant, understand that intimacy is an opportunity. And as I said in the intro, the only way to build a healthy relationship, to have a secure relationship, is in your ability to develop intimacy with your partner. And so it's about embracing vulnerability, embracing intimacy. Very often when you're avoidant, vulnerability is a bad word. You don't want to come across as vulnerable because it's weakness. I'm strong, I can do the things on my own. If I cry, if I admit that I'm wrong, if I admit that I'm scared, I will come across as weak, and I don't want to come across as weak. So accept and understand that actually when you are vulnerable, when you come across as authentic, this is how you build up intimacy. And it could work with your relationships and romantic relationships. So that's why a lot of avoidant, they have shallow relationship with their friends. They don't necessarily have trusted friends in the sense of they would not disclose things, and in return their friends will never open up. So give it a try. Call your best friend. Share something personal with a trusted friend. Maybe something that you're scared of, maybe something that annoys you, and start where you can, but do this today and see that it's very interesting, because when you do this, of course, there's very much like you're scared, they're gonna judge me, they're gonna see that I'm not as strong as. And actually, when you do those things, when you're authentic, when you are being a human, you'll see how your friend will respond. And it's amazing, because that's where once you do it for the first time, you feel like, okay. For me, for example, it's easier for me to open up with female friends and then guys, because I think guys were still more like, we talk about football and cars and stuff like that. With girls, I think it's fairly different, and I think they are better listeners, at least my friends. And when you do those things, then you have a conversation at the same level. So rather than being shallow and superficial, you deepen this conversation. Maybe it's about your kids, your spouse, whatever, and you feel connected at a deeper level. And when you do that, this is how you build up intimacy, and you realize, actually, that's the key. That's the key. Finally, I get it. So now it's about embracing this journey forward and understand that those barriers, so maybe your barrier, is an opportunity for growth. This breakup, this relationship is an opportunity for you to grow. And recognizing this barrier, the one specific to you, is your guideline. That's the only thing that needs, don't talk about, don't message me about how you need to break no contact, the things you need to read. This is the only thing you have to work on. So after this video, shut down YouTube, look at the questions, look at the things you need to reflect, journal it every single day, ask yourself the question, find a friend to do this exercise, to speak or discuss those things. That's the only thing that you have to do right now. And so this self-reflection will influence and guide your different actions, and that will help you to move from old maladaptive patterns that are preventing you from building healthy relationship, whether it's because you're detaching, whether because you don't feel worthy of love, whether you feel that you don't want to express yourself and you don't want to celebrate success in the context of a relationship. So I want you to look at the barrier you want to commit overcoming first. And as I said, let me know in the comment section. I want people to use this video as a platform to discuss. I know I'm grateful that you're many watching my videos, commenting and debating, and I think that's also the reason I'm making those videos online, because it's not so much about you, it's not so much about me, it's about you discussing, learning, exchanging. And I know sometimes we feel like a bit lonely in those situations. We feel a bit like, okay, I'm the weird one. But in a way, when you discuss, when you see other people in your situation, you will find nuggets, golden nuggets of insights that will help you to move forward. So your path to growth, as I said, breakups and challenging relationships are part of your growth journey. If you think of anything in life, this is usually when you have a hard time that you learn. It's usually when things start to be challenging that we learn the most. Think about your job. Think about let's look about your job. Let's think for a second about your job. Your last promotion, I guess that was not easy. That was not straightforward, and it's because you were had a lot of intentions and a plan and dedication and motivation and energy towards this goal, overcoming this challenge, that you made it happen. And so a relationship is never, a relationship that stagnates doesn't work. And that's the thing. This breakup, in a way, was meant to happen, right? Because the things that you didn't address, maybe your partner has to do that work as well, will have created this breakup, will have created this tension, this idea of it's not working out. So look at this barrier. This is where you have to work, right? And obviously it's your responsibility to do the work. It's not mine. It's not your ex, right? This video is not about your ex. If you are watching this video after a breakup, I don't care about your ex. Focus on things you can control. Focus on your barrier. Focus on the challenge that you have to overcome. And remember, if you have a hard time and want to, get a bit of motivation on this, just picture yourself in 6 months' time without this barrier. And think, okay, how would my relationship would look like? How would be my confidence level? What would be my outlook on life once this happens? And before I wrap up, don't hesitate to let me know in the comment section how you felt. There's also a few links if you want to get in touch with me. I will see you next time.